Hello and welcome to Set to the Howling Winds. Today we set our scene uh, back within the training grounds as perhaps Abel and probably Gabby as well are finishing training sessions with the local kinfolk to whip them into shape and instill some martial experience and a bit of, shall we say, a discipline into them. It is in fact probably the Furies and the Fenrir's kinfolk that take to it the fastest. One, because they're warlike tribes in many ways, they're warrior tribes, sorry, but also because it is two of their, it is one each of their own teaching them. Abel probably gets a lot of side eye from any Wendigo kin that happen to be anywhere near the set. For any that try and take him on, he probably thoroughly beats the shit out of them, but honors the attempt.
Yeah, and there's a weird amount of ladies around Gabby's age that are just kind of flocking around her, and she's kind of oblivious to it all, being like, "Oh yeah, this is cool. I'm training with a lot of people. I'm teaching. I'm doing the responsible thing."
It's just a ton of women around there just being taught by Gabby and are there for nothing else, only the wisdom of the martial arts.
Yep.
Pretty much. But yeah, it's winding down and the people disperse and Abel begins walking up to the side of the training grounds, where he's got kind of like a no less than 4 6-packs worth of beer just lying up on the side. And you can see him just tear off the packaging and just take out a beer and casually toss one your way.
Yeah, she'll take it. It's as long as it's not like, I mean, it's beer, so it's not super strong. So yeah, she'll be fine drinking it.
You're a Garu. You don't have to care about the effects of alcohol.
Well, yeah, that too, but I don't think Gabby's had ever had anything stronger than like wine before. So.
Is Gabby even of the age to drink alcohol legally?
No, it's okay.
Abel, for the record, could not care less than he is, right? He could literally. It is literally negative fucks given. He is compelled to give you more beer because you're not of age. He just casually tosses one your way without a second thought.
Yeah, snaps it open and she'll drink it because that's the polite thing.
Mm-hmm. I went rather well today.
Sorry, say that again?
No, I went rather well today.
Oh yeah.
Surprises me to say it, but the Wendigo are easy to get along with and fucking binary.
Has something been going wrong with binary?
Nah, she just hates the training. She absolutely hates it. It's kind of hard to get her to actually do stuff sometimes. At least the Wendigo are into it.
One mission I went on with binary, she saved our asses, so.
Oh yeah, she's actually, if she put her mind to this properly, she'd be pretty good at her. She's getting there. It's teething issues, really. She's been sheltered for most of her life, so actually having to go out and run around and do some intense training is completely alien to her.
Mm-hmm.
But she's getting there. I think the threats to make her sing cadence worked out.
You could always threaten to turn off the internet, but I think that would be just cruel.
I don't even think it would work with someone like her. She'd find a way. I mean, she's found a way for those bloody tunnels. Nah, I had to play the hard ass. Fortunately, the new Irene on set gives me a bit of a license to do that. Have you met him? His name's Cole. He's a Fenrir of my tribe.
No, I don't think I have yet. Should invite him to the training sessions.
Yeah, no, he joined me in Binary at one of the her training session. Certainly whipped her into shape. He's a pretty cool guy overall. Pretty chilled out for an Irene, but I suppose it's kind of, how to say, it's a bit of a stereotype to seeing that Irene subsumed by rage. Our tribe actually goes pretty hard into depth about resolving that issue, because we tend to pop a lot of Irons most of the time.
Does he agree with you about the level of security on the sept?
Yeah, he doesn't seem too happy with how lax everyone's being. I think Binary only reinforced that. But he seems less shocked about it than I am. Well, I was. That's just something I kind of deal with every day. What does concern me is the distinct lack of wormish activity as of late, other than the leeches that are everywhere all the time. So,
speaking of leeches, I had something I wanted to ask you.
Go ahead.
You were there when I asked the Mistress of Challenges to give me Adelheide's challenge, right?
He looks at you. Was that the scene where Jesse was introduced?
Yes.
Okay, he has. I'm just blanking really badly.
That's all right.
Yeah, I believe so.
I went and talked to Dazzles about it. And essentially it sounds like we need, I mean, I've been assigned, I should say, we don't need, I've been assigned the task of being an sort of an emissary to go and speak with these Gaian vampires and try to form some sort of, let's start with the temporary alliance probably. It could turn into something more, but just to get rid of the other vampires that are hanging around.
An Arun is an emissary? If that's not a statement, I don't know what is.
Yeah, it couldn't be something easy like go out and punch something, Gabby. No, I have to talk to people.
I thought they would have made someone, I don't know, Philodox, a Galleon maybe, but Arun? I mean, that's more or less a tacit statement of, yeah, go hit it in the face.
Well, that's why I wanted to ask you. You're a Galliard. You're a little more. I mean, you don't seem to be too into the whole singy thing, but you do seem to know how to talk to people better than I do. I mean, that's not saying a whole lot, but it's better than what I can do. So I would love to have your assistance if you would be okay with that.
I'm generally not good at talking to leeches. I've already told you of my absolutely horrific history with leeches.
Oh no, I'm right there with you. It's just that these are the enemies of our enemies who just so happen to be the same sort as our enemies. They apparently serve Gaia. So as long as we keep in mind that by working with them, we're kind of serving the ultimate goal of killing the bad leeches with the help of the good leeches or the slightly better leeches.
I would argue no leeches are good, and that this is clearly a front for. I've never seen a good leech in my life, and I have encountered a lot of leeches and killed even more. Obviously, what he says is the total contradiction meant to exaggerate his statement. But yeah.
Yeah, no, Gabby doesn't get it. It takes her a second.
How can you kill all these leeches you haven't met? Because
yeah, wait.
omnipotence, Fenris, that's decrees it, so it is. Yeah. We can reach a detente with them, I believe is the term. Or détente, whatever it is, that ridiculous French word that means mutual understanding.
You're asking the wrong person.
A quid pro quo arrangement. I have little interest in making alliance with these creatures, but we can probably get them to give up the locations of the ones we're looking for and the ones I'm looking for.
Yeah, and I was I don't know. I was thinking about what we could, if we needed to bring them anything as like a peace offering at first, and that would involve asking a kinfolk for blood, which is going to be crazy.
That would not happen. If they tried to feed on our kinfolk, I would kill them, and that would not be up for debate.
No. We wouldn't bring a kinfolk for them to feed on. We would just get some blood and put it in like a nice wine glass.
You have any friends in the medical spectrum? Because I have no intention of taking the blood of random innocent people and then giving it to these freaks of nature.
Hey, I'm not very good at talking, but I know how to give gifts.
I think we don't really need to give gifts, and I don't think we have anything they want and they have anything we want other than information. I mean, I understand where you're coming from, but I think blood's off the table. I mean, even if we were to take it from a blood bank, I mean, we're still taking away what could be life-saving blood to someone who actually needs it. So you've got to consider whether it's worth having in the hands of someone it could save the life of, or to a bunch of leeches who are, well, inherently of the worm. You know, they can say they're gone, but they're still literally the worm's creation. They are unnatural. They pervert the cycle of life and death. That's the point for existence, to corrupt. And they're an aspect of that. So, yeah, sorry.
Despite everything all the interactions I've had with them before, I'm going to attempt to keep an open mind when I meet them, because this is apparently Adelheide's ancestors owed my ancestors a favor, so it feels like I should continue that chain of good faith.
What, by making the Trembunsons owe you more?
No, I'm pretty sure he was supposed to stay and help form a pact with me, but you know, that's not going to happen anytime soon. It's the idea that, you know, he was planning on paying it back. And he was my friend anyway, so I want to do it for him.
Then hey, you got his substitute up to back you up.
Exactly.
I would say just treat it like business and make that clear to them. Because then everyone's on the same page and they know what they're dealing with, and everyone can just get down to brass tacks and get everything sorted, and then we don't have to interact with each other again unless someone reneges on their agreement, in which case we're well within our reason to react to that. And they know that. And likewise, if we do the same to them. So, considering the situation and that neither side is really fond of the other for obvious reasons, it's probably best if we just treat this as just, yeah, a reluctant business deal.
Given that I have no experience with any kind of diplomatic situation, and even less experience with any kind of business situation, I'd say we're in a pretty good place.
I have no experience in business and largely none in diplomacy. Most of my life as a Gallid has been killing things and then singing about how awesome killing that thing was. That said, I still have a silver tongue gifted to me by Gaia herself, so I can help you there. If nothing else, the Scepter's forced me to react. So there's a positive. Yeah.
I'm gonna see if I can get Sierra to come with us, and maybe Bleeding Fire as well, because I've been on a mission with both of them before, and I trust them.
Yeah, Sierra's cool. Kyle seems to he seems to be like me as a switch. He seems to be either on or off. And he's a very different person when he's on. So we'll see. But I think when I learn what those switches are and what they do and who he is, then that's not going to be an issue. You know him better than me, at least, so I'm in no position to argue. I'm hoping they know where, or if any others have arrived.
Any other of us or any other kindred?
But OC, does she say kindred?
Yeah.
He kind of stares blankly at you as if he doesn't know what that means.
Oh, sorry. Dazzle's taught me that. The vampires call each other kindred. I thought I should stop calling them leeches so that I don't accidentally call them leeches when I'm talking to them.
That's a funny term they call each other. Doesn't really matter to me either way. But I wouldn't give them the dignity of the name unless we were making a business arrangement.
Exactly.
All right. Yeah, Sierra and Carl, I think will do nicely. I mean, as long as Carl doesn't bring any fire spirits along with him to torch the place. Or Sierra, she's also on fire a lot.
I mean,
what's with all the people on fire on this set?
I am. My deed name is Fists of Flame, so.
What is it with everyone on fire on this set? I mean, I just cast a really large shadow and look kind of perpetually pissed off. I'm not on fire.
To be fair, that did leave a couple not so nice burn marks, and she'll show you her hands, and there are pretty bad burn marks on them. Not as bad, not like horrible, but they're scars.
Nasty. But proud. He kind of, well, you can actually see on his underarm that there is a nasty, like kind of a long scar that runs down there.
Maybe it's because I don't know about if the Sierra and Kyle have the same thing I do, but where fire doesn't affect me as much as it affects other humans, which makes it really nice when fighting vampires.
I don't really have that gift, but I've never really needed it. For some reason, I hear that leeches are weak to fire, but they also seem very, very vulnerable to fang and claw, so...
Oh, if it does come to that, go for their midsection, Dazzle said, because that's where they store a lot of their blood. So if you can, get them to release all that blood, they are still going to survive, but they're not going to be able to do a whole lot.
Presumably their point of strength would be their heart. Unless, I mean, you know more. You're calling them kindred, so I presume you know much more about them than I do.
Not only what Dazzle's told me. She said wooden stakes do work. Also, cutting off their heads, which makes sense because cutting off people's heads usually kills them.
Well, I guess it's dichotomy between the heart and the mind, right?
Sure.
You can't have one without the other. So if you separate them, presumably, yeah, it would kill them.
Yeah.
Unless they could, because they would need blood to regenerate, but they need their mind to will that. So I suppose, yeah, if they have a missing head, then their body can't regenerate because then they can't will them. The body can't will itself to do anything, and the head has no blood to regenerate itself.
Yeah, that's. I'm hoping it doesn't come to that, but if it does, I want everyone to be prepared so that
I don't really mind.
We come out
sounds
as
really
unscathed as
harsh.
possible.
Either way, regardless of whether we kill the bad leeches or kill these leeches, we're righting a wrong to the planet either way. Yeah, I'm going to see if I can organize some bane hunts soon. We haven't been super active as a set from what I can tell, so I'd like to go out and see if I can start attracting the one's attention a bit, because usually when it's quiet, from my experience, usually means there's a build up to something. So attracting the one's attention tends to slow it down and divide its focus, as well as giving you a lead to work with.
Have you talked to Sierra? I know she was working on starting to send out patrols. She wasn't talking about specifics, but she might be someone to coordinate with.
Yeah, I also need to arrange my patrol time too. My patrol time's out of set because, I mean, this set is already pretty sparse on defense, so we'll want to make sure that there's always at least several guardians on set when one of us is going out on business. I've actually known quite a few Garu who were much stronger than me and could have been guardians, but had so much going on outside of the set. Sometimes in a city, sometimes it's just in like the local neighborhoods that they literally couldn't be guardians, just because they had too much going on. They couldn't commit to the time of moving around and patrolling the set for like a whole working day. They had jobs. I mean, to me, I just generally leave that to the kin. I have my role, they have theirs, and we're both very good at our respective roles.
Yeah, I never. The only thing I looked into was like a job at some kind of boxing place, but transportation is iffy, and I would rather stay on set.
I mean, making connections is good. I don't know. I've just. I mean, our kinfolk are just better suited to all that sort of stuff.
Big connections is good when you are good at talking to people.
True, but then again, I still have almost as much rage in my heart as you. People will always be afraid of me. They're not wrong. They definitely should be. I'm not a human, so they should not presume me to be their ally. I would consider it wise for them to keep their distance most of the time. Just a shame it ends up being inconvenient at the points when I need it not to be. But what works?
Yeah, making friends outside the sept wasn't. I mean, see, back in Greece, I tried. It just ended up in street fights. So that's how I made friends.
There is like a sympathetic look on Abel's face as he just says, I'm sorry about that. Yoren's in such a horrible position when it comes to humanity.
No, it was probably for the best. I shouldn't have been going off sept as often as I was. I don't know. I needed to get out sometimes. But it's a lot. I feel a lot less confined here because it's a lot more open.
Well, cubs are expected to make mistakes.
Oh boy.
I once had a tutor who explicitly, of course he was a fucking ragabash, explicitly told me to make as many mistakes as possible because when I'm a Cleve or a Fuston or an Adrian or whatever, my mistakes would have actual consequences. So I might as well just get all that shit out of the way right now.
Where was this guy? He would have loved me.
He probably would have. East Coast of America is it's a fun place. Still wonder how they did it from that time, but hey, I'm here now. Can't focus on what's already happened. Want another drink? Shakes a big bottle at you.
Oh no, and she holds up. She's been nursing this thing this whole time. She's still got like half left.
See yourself. He'll put the bottle next to you. Well, not the bottle, but the can.
Yeah.
He'll take out another big can and open it. So, how you doing these days? I don't see you too much outside of training.
That's mostly what I do.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess I do see you for literally hours on end, so.
No, other than, well, it's nice to be able to train with people now. Usually I would just be on the training grounds on just a punching bag by myself. Sometimes with Adelheid when he was here, but you know, trying to teach others and having just other people around is a little bit nicer. So, but that's most of my day.
Sometimes most of what I do in my free time is, well, it's taking freaking binary to the shooting range. Still can't fire a gun straight. But when most of my talent is wrapped up in ripping things to pieces rather than aiming a little pea shooter at them. What are these things supposed to be? I can see that would be threatening to humans, but I'm just like, it's the equivalent of a blow dart. Like it's, yeah, just throw your pebble at me. They will make about as much difference.
So we were taught with bows, so we could fetish bows that can actually do damage to us.
Bows are more, how to say, I wouldn't call them more honourable weapons. Perhaps I would call them more fitting weapons for who we are.
Yeah.
And as you said, it's easier to bind spirits into a bow and arrow. It is more Gaian, I guess. I suppose firearms are closer to the Weaver in a sense. Well, absolutely so, but
So it should be up by Nair's alley.
Oh yeah. I know boners and glasswalkers do that sort of thing a lot more and can get away with it. What works for them. I just don't want them to become over-reliant on it. That's been one of Binary's major hurdles, having to get over the relying on technology to solve all of your problems. Not even her time outside when she's getting over her fit phobia really dealt with that. Dealt with her phobia, but never really dealt with her reliance on technology.
I guess you could say the opposite about us, right? I mean, I know how to work a cell phone, kind of, but put me in front of a computer and tell me to do half the stuff binary does. I'm completely lost.
I can do a tiny bit of what binary does, but not to the extent that she can. She spent her whole life with that shit. She is well and truly above my pay grade when it comes to computers. But I'm a lot better at the stuff that she says she hates, so I'll take that, make use of it, and make her learn it. Because I'm her best friend. There is a real sense of deviousness on his face when he talks about this. You can almost feel binaries whining or ringing across the set. Yeah, that's me driving my slowly dying vehicle, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Sometimes I just go out for a drink in town, but not too much. Most of the time, my view is just here. Spend a lot of time like it though.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I know I'm good at this.
Yeah, got mom, dad, aunt, uncle, 3 siblings, and sorry, 3. Wait, sorry, mom, dad, aunt, uncle. Yeah, 3 cousins and my 2 remaining siblings. Sister and a brother. Hopefully one of them is as lucky as me. They're both substantially older by about 5 to 6 years.
I don't know if that's better or worse than 10 minutes.
I mean, they get to rub it in a lot more, I guess.
Oh, you haven't heard Alex. Just 10 minutes. Probably rub it in just as much.
Fair. I suppose older siblings will just take whatever time they can get. The only part that annoys me is all I have to show for it is luck. But I guess that's all I needed. Guess the ego looked well upon me. For the record, you have no idea, unless you have Fenrir law or like Spirit law 3, I guess? You probably wouldn't.
Nope, neither. She's used to not understanding things.
That's sad. I guess he'll just look at your. Yeah, I know what that is. Like,
a lot of the time she's like, I'm supposed to know this, but I don't, so I'm going to act like I know exactly what that means.
right. Ager spirits of like journeys, water, luck sometimes.
She'll nod.
I wouldn't expect to know about them. Their spirits closely tied to my own totem, not yours. So I don't know. It's not like I know that much about Pegasus's brood. I know a little bit, but not that much.
To be honest, it's probably about the same that I do.
you kind of get booped on the head, and it just says, "Stop putting yourself down, damn it! You need to get out of a habit." I'll kick your ass until you say you did a good job.
You can try.
The beer can is immediately crushed and dropped. He stands up, walks to the center of the training grounds, and waits for you.
Oh, hell yeah. Let's fucking go. You're going first.
I mean, wait a second, I might not, because I have a terrible initiative rating. I'm going first.
You're going first.
Okay. Four successes. Okay, that's not too bad. 2 successes on the damage. Also.
Right?
No, damn it.
Right. I need to do math. Give me a second. Okay. 3. Yeah, she kind of takes that one in the shoulder, and oh no.
Damn. You do so much.
How did that happen? Why does this happen in a fluff scene? Why can't this happen like in an important scene? Can I save that roll?
Successes on your die rolls. Okay, go do it then, I guess. Go smash him in the face and knock him out in one hit. You suck.
I'm sorry.
No.
Smash you. It's just 4. You can still soak that. Yeah, there you go. You only took 3.
Okay, something's gonna happen now. Let me roll it. That's not what I wanted. Roll again.
Takes one on the shoulder and goes for your gut, probably.
God, I hate this background. It's so garbage. Ancestors' background is the worst background in the game. Why is it limited to 3? And that's with a fucking merit. That's how bad it is. I'm never taking that background again. There we go. 70-10 because I suck now. Okay. 3 damage.
Nice.
So that's actually a pretty good average, but I would have done like nothing. I deal 1 damage.
Yeah,
oh yeah, I'm also spending 2 rage because you're forcing it out of him now. You took like 2 damage.
Alright. What am I doing? I mean, you're rolling the same amount of dice as me with that, so.
Mm-hmm. Also 2.
Oh, no, I haven't done damage yet. That was just a hit.
Oh, sorry.
That's alright. You still soak 2 of whatever I do.
I soak a thing. Hopefully I soak 2. And then you do 5 damage and it's like GG.
No, I only do 1. You soak all of it.
No, because 1s don't take away from damage.
Oh, you're right. I forgot. I should
not
be doing that.
I take 1.
2, 3. Yeah, you take 1.
This is rage rounds because he's done. He's done. He's done, lads.
Now Gabby's not spending rage because that's she's gonna chill. 2.
Abel took a ton of damage. God damn it! So he needs to burn up for rage. Also, he's kind of cheating, but yeah.
That's all right.
5 successes.
Nice.
Unfortunately, my strength is Garbo, so it's fine. Oh. 3 damage again. Give me a good damage roll. Yeah, you so call a bit.
You have another rage round?
Nope, I only spend 2. So, chill again. There we go. My damage rolls are so bad. Abel's landing a lot of hits, he's just not doing the. Oh. Wow.
Oh,
That's
nice.
the one that hurts you.
Yeah, ow.
He boops you. How much health are you on right now?
I'm at -2.
I think
You just got me down to
-2.
-2.
I think Abel's at -3 right now.
Mm-hmm.
So. Go, so it's your turn.
Oh yes. Okay, so I'm down 1 dice. So there's flame.
You're doing good. You're doing real good.
There you go.
I don't soak any of that. I take 3. Wow. I'm on -5? Yeah, I'm on -5, I think. Abel's terrible rolls are not proving the player's point at all. No, they're not. He can no longer attack you, it seems, at all. So yeah.
I mean, she's gonna if he's looking hurt, she's gonna wait and see if he still wants to keep going.
He'll stop. You see him like step away. He'll ask that you shift up because he wants you to heal, and then he wants to do it again.
She'll be like, "See, I told you could try."
I'll take a rage for that comment. So yeah, I guess we'll re-enter combat after everyone's healed. Do you want to re-roll initiative or?
I mean, I do, but
Yeah,
I
we'll
don't know if you do.
I'll say I'll just keep my initiative for the sake of simplicity, but you can definitely re-roll yours.
That's better.
So
That's
what's
12.
I have? I still got yay! Life is good at 13. Yay. Okay, that's 3. That's pretty garbage, actually. Considering I have like difficulty 5, it's actually pretty poor to be rolling only 3 successes and only doing 2 damage. Which you
Okay,
say.
I suppose.
He will not stop. He will not stop.
Okay.
Oh my fucking god. Yeah, I take 2 again.
Oh no, that was just a hit. I haven't.
Oh no, you could do more damage there.
Yeah, exactly. That's 6. 1, 2, 3. So take 2.
I take 2. I take 2.
Yeah, you do take 2.
Yeah. I think it all comes down to who can do the damage first. I mean, that's combat in a nutshell, I guess. Oh, I do a ton of damage with that roll. I do 3.
I took 2.
Okay, you take 1. One success.
No, that means it's just raw strength. It's 3.
3 again. Looks like 2.
Nice.
Only 3 2s, man. Look at that. You can literally see the 3 2s there. Hey there, we gotta be an instant fail. I'm sitting there, mocking you with a casa crisis. Yeah, you smash him.
Math is difficult.
You actually have the same amount of dice as me, but are getting way more successes, so nice job.
Well, that's probably because I have better strength.
No, I mean in terms of your attack, your attack rolls are actually.
Well, no,
I had originally 8d10, and you have 7.
You got 5 successes last time. 6.
Yeah, that was mainly mitigated by my terrible dice damage. A bit like that one, which is No, that's not 2 successes. That's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, lame.
Which I
Sorry.
don't took any of, so I'm knocked out. Ah, man, my soak dice hate me today. Yeah, Abel goes down. He'll get up after a few minutes. He's
Yeah,
not
no, she'll
happy.
she'll help him up.
And he seems really determined. Actually, I'm going to take another rage because he's getting really mad that this keeps happening.
Good, stop taking rage.
Yeah, no, he's taking another rage because he feels pretty embarrassed and humiliated right now, and he feels kind of let down by his ancestor, who seems completely ambivalent to his desire to make a fucking point to someone he cares about. So he's pretty pissed off right now. So yeah, he will heal up, and then we'll do this again. Oh my fucking god! Shit. That's really dice. God damn it, man! Abel's off his game. It's 1 damage.
Wait, did you just heal, or do you want me to stay at -1?
Oh wait, no, that's I have to roll an extra d10. I rolled the wrong difficulty. Okay, he does 2 damage to you.
Okay.
Yeah, just roll the same thing you're always doing. You soak it.
Okay. Lame.
Wow, that's worse than the rolls I got so far. And then I'll do this and I'll march on a difficulty 5. Just wait.
No, you're fine.
For now. Wow, I rolled pretty well on my 4 d10s.
I don't know if we're boxing, so I'm just not gonna explode these 10s because I don't need to.
He's kind of, yeah.
I take 1.
You take damage. You take 1. You are bruised but unimpeded. Smash the Abel. You smash the Abel.
Math. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
So 2. So he's where you're at. Oh, there we
Nice.
go. That's, yeah. He gets a good hit in, it seems to be. I guess he's learning from your boxing technique. Wow, he really does.
Yay!
That is actually an amazing roll for him. It's literally the rage. I'm going to say that's the rage kicking in now.
Yeah, no, you get, yeah,
Oh,
that's basically a 1-hit
that's a
knockout.
1-hit KO. Wow. I guess you beat him down enough times that it's just the sheer force of rage pumping through his veins. That he finally stops and just starts breathing very heavily. It feels like towards the end of that, his technique probably dissolved quite a lot. And you got in 2 for 1, man.
No,
He's still pretty tired.
That's what she's just gonna take a while to like come back to her senses and get some water, but she's gonna be like, yeah, I mean, you did it. It was 2 out of 3, but you still
you did
got
a good
1.
job. See, it's fine. Everything is fine.
It's a win-win.
He punches a fist through one of the punching bags, just straight through it as he burns a rage.
Gabby's like, well, I need a new punching bag, but I can always just use a kinfolk. That was a joke. I was trying to make a joke. I wasn't actually suggesting I string up a kinfolk. That would be not good. Considering we're training them. Get it?
He doesn't really seem to get the joke. In fact, he seems largely ambivalent to the joke because he just pulls his fist out of the punching bag and sends all over the place. He just looks extremely. He still doesn't look that much better, to be fair, because he's still on 5 rage. He mutters a silent "fuck you" to the air. He actually looks pretty frustrated himself. He doesn't seem happy at all.
Do you want to go get something to eat? That was a lot of rounds.
It's fine. I'll be fine.
Come on, get something to eat with me. Better eating partner than Sierra, who eats just raw meat, which I mean I could if I was not in Hamid.
There's just like that short moment where he just begins just kicking and beating the shit out of the already broken punching bag. He seems really angry. I would scream, but people are asleep.
Yeah.
You just kind of just hear him like it's coherent. Like he's actually stating like it's a coherent sentence largely filled with swearing and just fuck you, you piece of shit. Like just not to the punching bag, but just seems to be to the environment in general, like to anyone in A shot and himself. He seems really frustrated with himself.
She's gonna let him punch out what he needs to punch out.
He will probably burn off his additional rage. Just kind of at the end of it, the punching bag is just kind of scraps of leather on the floor. Takes a good few minutes. For a moment, it looks like he's going to get even angrier because it's just not falling apart in the way he wants, and that seems to speed things up, almost make things worse for a moment, but eventually he just calms down.
And she'll walk over and sit beside him because I'm assuming he's like, in order to punch the thing, you have to be like kneeling down because it's completely broken.
Yeah, he just kind of sits down there and kind of looks a bit sulky, but obviously a lot of the self-frustration isn't left in.
Weren't you the one who was just telling me not to put myself down?
Yeah, and then I completely failed to make my point and made an ass of myself.
No, you knocked me out with a pretty solid punch.
It took you knocking me out twice to get there.
So? Still a victory.
You know what?
If I were my sister, I'd be holding it over you, but I'm not.
I'm going to say that something is perhaps pretty offensive to you, but I fucking hate the fact I'm not Naru because I cannot do this shit in the way that I want to.
Well, I'd say you're got a talent for telling stories and a talent for hitting things. Just the fact that you get both. And it still seems like you're pretty efficient at hitting things.
Yeah, but I'm practiced, not talented. I'm always going to be second fucking best. Become other Arun in my tribe because that's how things work.
I remember you telling me.
And not doing it
myself. I remember you telling me you wanted to be the best at telling stories, right?
Yeah, they were still the strongest.
Well, if we were all frontline fighters, no support, you'd be pretty inefficient.
I spent my entire life sitting on the sidelines, and then when I finally am able to go on the front lines, I find out I'm also supposed to be on the sidelines again.
But just imagine if we had a whole army of just me. Sure, we could punch things, but when it came to anything like recording the details of what happened, you know me, I've got a horrible memory. What's the use of fighting a fight if no one's going to hear about it?
People fight fights to win. I mean, if I could just say Guile wins today and nobody would ever hear about this war ever again, and it would be lost to history, I'd take it. My role is unimportant relative to what the Arun do. Because ultimately they're the ones that are dealing with a fundamental problem. The Fiat is too. And that's the thing. If I'm going to sit on the sidelines, at least give me something useful to do. Singing is great from like a cultural standpoint. Telling stories is great from an academic standpoint. But does it change? How does it make a difference?
Well, without you, we would have no idea what we were fighting for.
I don't know. The enemy's always out there. Even if we don't remember it, it will make us remember. That's why I looked up to Skyfroat, because she didn't. Her words made a difference. Don't really see that much in the nation anymore. Everyone seems so keen to do their own thing. Consequences be damned.
So you've got to remind us what mistakes we've made in the past and make sure we don't make them again.
Hope I can. If people will listen. People like listening to good news. Not so much the bad. Some people forget most of the nation is bad news. Don't know how many times I've carried the calls back to their families.
Well, then imagine how appreciative they'll be of you and write stories about them so we don't forget them. So their loss wasn't for nothing.
Most of them, well, it's easy to shoot a messenger. I understand how it feels because I've been on the receiving end of that. When I was 12, my oldest brother was brought back to me, or the family. And then some point during the funeral, my mum asked, "Is this all worth it?" And then the one who had actually brought the body back to us said, "It should be." Dad just said, "It fucking better be."
I lost one of my moms to the fight. I never knew her. So, I mean, definitely doesn't have the same kind of impact. But yeah, it better be worth it.
I'm sorry, I'm just shoving all of my problems on you. Because I'm pissed off at something I never was, so. I actually really like it, and I, it's just frustrating sometimes.
I mean, hey, what are we if we can't support each other, right? We keep that all in. It could be useful in battle, but a situation like this, coming up on a diplomatic mission, don't really need that rage.
Yeah. He will wrap an arm around you and give you like a friendly jostle. I guess it's kind of like pseudo hug.
Yeah, side hug.
It's literally a side hug. He has you lean on him, or the two of them lean on each other, I guess.
Yeah.
See? You did a good job.
You did too.
Thanks.
Now, do you want to go get something to eat? Because I'm starved.
Fair enough. Where do you want to go?
I mean, I was just gonna go to the little cafeteria, but if you want to actually go somewhere, there's a great taco place.
There are a few places in town. Sure, let's hit the taco place.
Sounds good.
He will get up and like offer you a hand.
Yeah, she'll take it.
Pulls you up with his completely mediocre strength. So you're probably better at getting up by yourself in a sense.
That's all right. She'll still take his hand. She's not going to be rude.
Yeah, it's okay. He's a burden. It's fine. Let him die. But yeah, and they'll leave they'll leave for the taco place, and Abel will ask Gabby in how would to say it in total. He'll hopelessly ask Gabby to remind him that he needs to pay for that punching bag, which she'll almost certainly forget.
Yeah, no, she also doesn't really care, so.
The Sept cares.
Yeah, the Sept will care, but Gabby doesn't.
The kinfolk will pay for it, it's fine. The peasant class. But yeah, they'll leave for the taco place. He will Abel will ask her a few things, I guess, as we transition into the taco place briefly. He will ask, so what do you like to eat? Just tacos, or?
I like to eat most things. I'm not super picky.
I'm
As long as it's
borderline
got meat in it.
carnivore at this point. I'm a steak kid. Can't get enough steak in my life. I guess I'm very, very fortunate that America is full of meat houses.
I know, right?
I don't know how I could survive in Europe. I actually go hunting every now and then. My lupus one.
Mm-hmm.
Feels good. Just be part of nature sometimes. I mean,
Yeah.
we're always part of nature, but feels a little bit, how to say, almost pure. Like
Yeah, in a
not
way.
distilled to its bare essence. It's undiluted. I don't know. Want to come hunt with me sometime?
Sure.
Cool.
Decent
I
at it
don't
if I
know.
could keep quiet enough.
I'm not great at keeping quiet, but I find myself to be okay at it. I'm better at the teeth crunching. Not so much the pursuit. Tend to hunt. I don't know. I found myself hunting the prey that fights back. I guess just because I don't have to run after it.
That makes sense.
Not to say that I'm lazy. I don't know. I guess it's just an instinctual thing. You said you're from Greece. Have you been anywhere else in Europe?
No. Greece to Canada to here.
Never been to my homelands. Now had a real good chance to. No, I never had the opportunity. I grew up in America and just traveled across the states. But I guess it's a country that has a little bit for everyone. Snow, heat, beach, tropics. If you go off into the Caribbean at least.
Mm-hmm. Right, the little bit that I saw of Greece, it was beautiful. It's beautiful here too. Different kind of beautiful.
Yeah, actually like it here. I don't know, it feels pretty. I don't really know how to say it, and I guess, but I guess that's the world for you.
Mm-hmm.
You're not supposed to give it words. Yeah, it feels right. Can't get enough of that. Say, you don't do anything in your spare time other than punch stuff?
Yeah, that's if I
I
were
mean,
to do anything, I would. Well, I go swimming sometimes.
oh, cool.
But like, no, if I were gonna do anything in the town, it would be go to some kind of boxing gym.
Well, I'll join you swimming sometime.
Yeah, it's a
So
good way to be social, but to get some activity in.
I'll take you hunting, you take me swimming.
Sounds good.
You'll probably outrun me heavily. I'll try and keep up. Now I'm thinking about it, there's a lot I could have done differently when we fought.
Well, you know that for next time.
I didn't think things through. He actually seems to give this serious thought. Yeah, I could have been a bit more constructive in my technique. I should have wound up first. Or tried to sweep you out.
You did just start learning.
Well, you never stop learning, but I've been trying to teach binary this sort of thing. I feel pretty guilty that I haven't been keeping to my own, well, practices. I have to keep those in mind. I don't know. I really shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have taken you up in a boxing match when that's what you're good at. I should have forced it into a mixed martial arts contest. That way I can take advantage of my legs. Things with stuff like boxing is that it's highly specialized. So if I'd actually spent some time exploiting flat martial arts limitations, I could have perhaps had a better chance at beating you. He is navel gazing when he says this. He's acting like some sort of academic.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
So, lessons to learn from next time, I guess.
Exactly.
He'll order some tacos. This tastes great.
Like giving them to the lupuses.
The devil's food. You met Blue yet?
Yeah, I was there when we went out to get her.
Yeah. She's a funny little thing. I need to teach her English. She only knows Spanish. Oh, yeah, I already told you that. Guess I'm minding you because you absolutely forgot, didn't you?
No, I remember you you spoke Spanish.
I'm glad to see I left an impression. There's been talk from the different Gara about packing up at some point. He says this as he's like, presumably, to take their tacos, and Abel's probably driven her out to the taco place in his terrible, shitty, slowly dying car. And then it will to life. And like kind of sounds like it's groaning a little bit, like, oh man, just learn. Sounds like binary. And he'll begin driving away as you eat your tacos. So there's been talk among some of the Gara about packing up.
Yeah, I heard that from Adelheid and some others. I think Adelheid's the only one I remember, like specifically.
Yeah. I know Lefty and Binary are thinking of packing up, and probably Sierra and Kyle at some point. I don't know, I'm new. I don't really know many people, so. I know Lefty and Binary were considering me, but I don't know if I wanna pack up with someone I want to know. Someone I know I can trust, not someone I've known for like 2 months.
It's funny because the first thing Adelheid said to me was that he wanted to form a pack with me, and I was like, yeah, sure. And Alex was like, are you crazy?
It's as they say, the pack is the family you choose, right? So I wouldn't want to make a commitment I'm not ready to keep. I've already been on the set 2 months, seen a lot of people make a lot of false promises. I know people are going to break their promises because I know they can't keep them. I'm not going to be that guy. I mean, I talk about it as if I'm a good guy. Part of it is selfish. Spent a lot of my life playing second fiddle. A big part of me wants to be the alpha of the pack I join. Not just because I'm a Fenrir, because that's been most of my life. Do you feel that sometimes?
Be an alpha?
Yeah.
Can't say I do. I think about it and I get terrified.
Lucky you, I think about it and I get absolutely fucking furious. I'll take fear. He pulls something out of the glove compartment as he pulls into the set again. His chocolate buttons. What's up?
Sure.
It's fucking great. So yeah, I don't think I'll pack up with anyone anytime soon. Not, I mean, I'll probably give it another month or two at least, just so I can know people.
That's probably
I feel like I've gotten, yeah. Oh, sorry. I just completely talked over the sentence.
Oh, no, she just said that's probably the smart thing to do.
I feel like I've probably gotten to know you the best.
Comes with being a guardian, probably.
I guess we spent a lot of time training together. And it's weird because I know we don't always talk all that much, but don't know. Guess I came to know you through you beating my head in.
I'd like to get to know someone better through fighting rather than through talking.
See, I know it sounds funny when I say I think you understand me, but I feel like you really do.
Let's put it on the list of maybe double digits things that I understand.
You get poked in the shoulder. Eat your button, damn it.
She does.
See, I don't know, you just haven't gone out of your way to make fun of me or anything. That sounds weird.
Why would I do that?
Yeah, it's not like everyone has, but I don't know. People seem to think that I don't hear them talking behind my back or looking at me with derision because I have a different opinion from time to time. Because obviously my views are quite different to what goes on the set. Not entirely. I think if people heard me out, they'd be closer than they realize, but I guess people have fallen victim to their own preaching. It's understandable, happens a lot. That's pretty much the story of 90% of the bad endings in the nation. People buy into their own bullshit and then do stupid things. Then gets their asses killed. Or worse, other people. There's one guy. Weaver was gaining traction in New York. So, and to be fair, to this guy's credit, this is the thing, right? People have a valid point when they start out on this path. Funny enough, he was a child of God. What happened to him was we was gaining traction, and the water and the warmth hadn't done anything about it, to the point where the gauntlet was thickening. They knew that some sort of weaver facility was, well, facilitating the thickening of the gauntlet, turning people into, I think they call them drones. They're basically weaver for Mori. You don't see them much, obviously, because the weaver doesn't really need many drones. Like, why would it, right? It's got a pretty good gig going as it is. Why ruin it?
Especially in New York.
But he led a mission with a blessing for Wormtho, who had been somewhat pressured into this because, he fucked up. Into destroying that weaver facility. It was a hospital, and they burned it to the ground. They burned no less than half a dozen hospitals to the ground, and killed everyone in there to the man. A lot of those people in there were innocent. Weaver weakened, almost doubled the powerful worm in the city, because so many families had lost people. He created so much suffering that he just didn't trade one enemy for another. He didn't care. He just kept going after weaver facilities. Got to the point where he was just killing spiders out in the street. Some of them weren't even doing anything wrong. They're just doing their jobs as spirits. We later found out he was tainted by the wild. I say we, the people who caught him.
See, that was a story.
It just goes to show. Road to Hell's paved with good intentions. And he killed a lot of good, innocent people. It's horrible. It also goes to show that no one member of Patria is our ally. In New York, the Weaver might be our worst enemy. In Florida, it might be our best friend. Well, it might be getting its ass kicked right now, but that doesn't mean it wants our help. Doesn't mean it needs our help. Also, it doesn't mean we should just jump ship and do everything we need to for it, or do everything we want for it. Because then you'll just end up going insane. It's like that child of God almost did. I've heard tales of pure worm spirits showing up from time to time. Uncorrupted worm spirits. They're extremely rare. You hear about them like once every year, every like 5. Like, they're so uncommon. So little of the pure worm seems to exist. Now, most of it's corrupt. But even the pure worm still exists in some form, and every pure aspect of the tree is necessary. But people seem to correlate wild with Gaia when that's not true. All three aspects of the tree are Gaian. They're of Gaia. They're the three aspects of her that make it necessary for us to live. They are there because she demanded they be there. And we serve her. We don't serve anyone else. Some tribes like yours tend to different aspects of the tree, but we all still serve Gaia in the end. We never forsake one over the other. He kind of looks at you to see how you respond to that.
She looks like she's being attentive. And he's gonna think for a second. It's not exactly what I was taught, but I think I like it better.
I mean, I can understand why people hate different parts of the tree. I mean, the worm is the obvious one, right? It's corruptive, it takes so many lives, it's slowly destroying the world if we don't put a stop to it. It's taken so much from us. But a lot of people seem to think of them as single-minded entities, like humans or us. But they're not. They're multifaceted. They're not people, they're forces. They're made up of millions, if not billions of minds.
It's easier to hate something than to understand it.
I mean, some members, like the wild, isn't even meant to be understood. They're forces of nature. And while the Weaver is bringing stasis to reality and the worm is corrupting everything, and the wild is the underdog in this story, and that's why so many people appreciate the wild, because there's less of it. You know, you don't know what you have until it's gone, sort of thing, and everyone loves the underdog. But at the end of the day, they're all necessary. You know, what happens if the Weaver actually dies? What happens then?
We went into a big party?
You have a big party, and then you realize, oh, the Weaver is now the strongest member of the trio, and has basically commandeered most of what the worm had. Which means the wild is absolutely fucked. It's kind of sad, because I don't think people would view humanity as negatively as they do if the progress in science that they kept achieving, that they kept struggling for, wasn't part of the Weaver's madness. If she did not twist that progress into insanity, then it wouldn't be a problem. But she did. Let's just hope the Glasswalkers can fix that little problem. So glad I don't have to deal with members of the trio. I just kill the worm things. You got your work cut out for you. You're a fury. You got to deal with the wild.
Yeah.
The literal unknowable force of everything and nothing. I always kind of wondered what it would be if the world was just there by itself. And then I realized it couldn't be anything.
Man, I didn't even pretend to understand that during when I was a cub, and I still really don't. But I think that from what you're saying, that's okay when it comes to the wild.
Yeah, pretty much. The wild is. I mean, let's take a minute to think about what the wild is. The wild is creation, right? It is creation without a limit, but that means there's no rules to it, so it can't specify what it's making. It just makes shit. So you might have the most comical, like, teddy bear with vampire fangs the next, and then literally simultaneously it is changing into something else, and it's constantly turning into something else. It's a vortex of ideas, so it inherently doesn't make sense. That's the point of the wild, I guess.
Yeah, that's too much.
Yeah, the wild is just a bunch of ideas, but that's all it is. And if ideas aren't made into something, which is what the Weaver does, then they don't matter. So, yeah, and that's why I guess that's why I feel like all the members of the trio are necessary, even though two of them are incredibly fucked up. two of them are insane. One of them, well, I mean, to be fair, all three of them are insane, but well, for Wild, it has the excuse of it's supposed to be. The Weaver is supposed to be the sanest sister. And yet she was the first one that went crazy. What the fuck? How's that for a plot twist? I'm sorry again. I'm making things complicated for you and talking about a bunch of tangents.
No, this strangely, the way that you put things makes a lot more sense than the way that it was put when I was learning them.
How were you told? How were you taught? Sorry.
It was more of a you know, you serve Gaia, you kill the worm things. And anytime we'd start to talk about the wild, it would just be like she'd talk like you were supposed to understand what she was saying, and she was talking in English, right? But the words in the sentence, I don't know, when like I understood the words individually.
I bet it was all flowery and allegorical and like filled with metaphor and romanticism and all that shit, wasn't it? It's the way the Furies talk about the wild is the way the Fenrir talk about themselves. There's a lot of flowery allegorical metaphor there, which is also a redundant term by me, which I guess proves the point. But it's just a really fancy way of trying to say something simple, but making it complicated when you don't have to.
Exactly. She would talk about how it was diminishing, and then talk about how good of a job we were doing at I guess celebrating it. So it was. I really didn't understand what we were trying to do or what our purpose was with the worm and at least the Weaver a little bit. I sort of understood what we were supposed to do. It was a bunch of contradictory statements.
I mean, well, welcome to Garu history. As someone who spent a great deal of time learning about that shit, it's an absolute mess. I mean, not all of it, to be fair. We actually have a decent track record. Again, it's just having to weave through all the fucking allegory and metaphors and fiery language and all the missing details because someone didn't want some big bad secret to be revealed in their heroic tale. Mm-hmm. But I mean, sounds like you kind of hit on a rather painful truth I wanted to talk about. The world is diminishing. I mean, to be fair, the tribes that tend to the world could be doing a great job, and it could just be that great isn't good enough. You just need to be perfect, which fucking sucks. But I mean, that's why my tribe is so intense. And I think I mean, both the Furies and the Fenrir are pretty intense to my knowledge when it comes to this sort of thing. We tend to have our own ways of comforting each other. But we're both under the same understanding, despite our own differences, that good is not good enough because the stakes are too high and the enemy is too great. We are not built to be good. We are built to be great. Because otherwise we're going to lose. It's pretty fucking daunting.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Nice. I feel bad for the Bone Gnawers because they're literally the tribe that settles for mediocre. Imagine how that mindset rubs off on them. But at the same time, That's their job, to accept anyone and everyone who couldn't make it. Quantity over quality. So I guess they have my sympathies, but they have my sympathies, but not my regret. I guess at the end of the day, they still chose that, as they made that decision themselves. But I don't know. I know quite a lot about Dara history, but not perhaps enough to make those sorts of sweeping statements. I know more about my tribe in general, and a lot about the individuals of the nation. You know, part of me, despite the fact that I want to find a place to stay, part of me does want to travel around a bit more just so I can meet some of those people that are still alive. I want to meet Cabra, and I want to meet Gargoyle. The Margrave. A lot of people I want to meet. I want to meet Gene Reader. So many faces and not enough time. You ever heard of Elizabeth Gene Reader?
No.
She's a glasswalker. That was a pretty big issue in her tribe. I can't remember the names of them, but they do some pretty fucked up things with this. My character actually is Garulor 4, so he actually knows everyone of the Foston rank. He actually knows the story, despite her only being a Foston. Yeah, she has a famous catchphrase in her tribe. You'll know what it is?
Sure.
You can't code Gaia. Because a lot of glasswalkers seem to have that problem. Kind of funny for someone who spent most of their life studying genealogy. But it doesn't make her any less right. Hopefully, maybe one day we'll be one of those people that want to be met rather than the ones that want to meet everyone else. Don't give me that look.
I was gonna say that anyone who wants to meet me is going to be very disappointed, and I feel like anyone who I want to meet is also going to be very disappointed. But I just knew you would punch me, so I wasn't gonna say it.
There is serious consideration of Abel thinking whether he should punch you in his car or not. He ultimately decides not to because this car is far too fragile at this stage in its life. You can and will make it, I trust you.
That's terrifying.
Get used to it. I've come to rely on you a lot more than you think.
That's also terrifying.
It's weird you say that, but you haven't failed at all so far.
She looks around for some wood to knock on.
There is no wood in this vehicle.
Well, then you just jinxed it.
So go out and be great. Because you already are. It's my big inspirational speech for you. He will get out of his car.
All right, she'll follow and she'll be like, "Well, see, that's why galliards are essential. We need those inspirational speeches."
You know, if you ever get concerned about this sort of thing, you can always come talk to me about it.
I appreciate that. I'm gonna try not to because that's not very Arun of me. I'm gonna see what happens with this challenge first. Well, it's not a challenge per se. I'm not challenging, but with this mission.
It's not very Fenrir of me to tell you my life's problems, but I did it anyway. So don't worry about it.
I will make an attempt.
I'm your friend first, so I'm not going to be trying to put in a shape or anything. I wouldn't make fun of you for having your own problems. Unless you're binary. But she needs to be whipped into shape. He smiles. It's like a devious smirk reappears on his face. Do you know how easy it is to sneak up on her?
I do not. I have never tried.
Do it.
I would feel really bad.
Don't be. The results are brilliant. There was this one time she was just mulling around on her skateboard out in the parking lot like some fucking wannabe punk kid. Like, oh, I just got expelled from school. I'm so hardcore. With the car park during midday. And it's just like, okay. So I just drove my car through the car park, realized she hadn't noticed me. She's gonna go for a jump. She's gonna go for that radical ollie. And he just like does a hand motion with his hand. Slam my fist down on the horn so hard, she flew further. And her landing was the most spectacular thing I've witnessed in years.
Nice.
She didn't land on her feet.
Oh, okay.
It was spectacular specifically because she landed on her face.
Oh, I see.
And then she got all sulky because she likes that and likes koala bearing on people for some reason, including me. Which is adorable, but also, no, get off. I'm not a koala tree. I'm not a freaking tree. Do I look like a glare child to you? No. And then there was that other time where just before training, I just jogged up to her. Wasn't even trying to be stealthy and just jabbed her both in the hips, and she just almost flew into the tree that she was next to. She could probably win the high jump. She also squeaks if you squeeze her. She's like some sort of plushie toy. You should do that. It's adorable. It's the cutest little thing. You just want to like take her off the bed and keep her as your teddy bear. Yeah, that's binary. Squeaky, sulky, and but pretty cool all around. I like her a lot. But yeah, I've taken up enough of your time for one day. I'll pay you back for those 2 losses, by the way.
It's looking forward to it.
I am. I'll see you around, yeah?
Yeah.
And then he will give you a hug. And then there's dead silence.
Oh no, I was
Fury.
just she's hugging back. It's just I thought that was like a bookend that you were doing. No, she hugs back.
Yeah. It's actually really deep and affectionate. It's not like, I'm here, this is a formality hug. It's like, no, it's actually someone who would actually care about you as a person. Then he just lingers for a little bit and will kind of wave off as he begins walking away. And I think that would be a good place to end our scene as April makes a new best friend. Thank you, Claire, for playing. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time.